In this video, we're looking at yet another normalization exercise. So we have these book orders. So we have an order ID, a faculty first and last name, department, phone, course number, course name, section, book ISBN, book title, book author, book publisher. And we want to imagine a flattened table. So anything that is multi-valued needs to be single-valued, so we need to uh, repeat certain items. So we see here that for this order, there are two books. There's a database systems book and an access book. Um, and then that book had two authors, and that's all part of the data. And one of the rules of thumb in uh, figuring out the primary key for the flattened table is that something about the repeated thing has to appear. So I'm going to repeat all the information in that first row with the book author Rob. I'm going to have to repeat all that to in the second row to make sort of a coronel. So the book author, the repeated thing, is going to have to appear uh, here. And then also there is more than one book in an order, so that is also something that's going to be repeated. And so I'm going to put that last. So then the book itself. So I'm going to say the ISBN is sort of an ID for books. So that is, again, another repeated thing. So within an order, the book author is a repeated thing. It was a multi-valued. I shouldn't say it's not repeated, but it's multi-valued, and everything else to make it single valued gets repeated. And so to distinguish one row for one of the authors from one row for the other author, I'm going to have to include book author. And then all of the order information and the faculty and the course number uh, is all the same if there are multiple books. So the book ISBN is going to. And then we ask, okay, so that was the repeated. So that's our rule of thumb that the repeated things must appear in our primary key. And then we ask, is that enough? Well, we see here that this first order, 7722, is ordering database systems. But then here's another section of the same course taught by a different instructor using the same book. So we're also going to need uh, some different information to distinguish that. And so let's call it, there was an order ID. So there's some order ID. Within that order, there were multiple books. So we need the book ID, and then the book had multiple authors. So the author, or some kind of author ID, if we want to introduce an author ID. So that's a primary key, we think. And then there's some subtle question about uh, the section. What if a professor teaches more than one section? What would we do? Um, but let's just bury that subject for now. Okay. So the next question here is, are there any candidate keys? Now, I find sometimes my students are either like adding a field or taking away a field, and let's just say that makes no sense. Um, if you if that number one is truly the primary key, then to add a field doesn't make sense because the key is sort of like minimal. You don't want any, you want as much as you need, but no more. And so then to just add another field uh, doesn't really makes sense, or to take away a field same way doesn't make a sense. That either if you can take something away, then you didn't need it in the primary key, and if you're adding something, then one either the primary key or the candidate key had something that wasn't necessary. Okay. So, but can we do some kind of substitution? Well, nothing's going to tell us the book author other than the book author. The book ISBN maybe can be replaced by the book title and book publisher. So let's offer that maybe as a possibility. I'm going to put what's down here and then make some kind of, I might take out the book ISBN and try a book title, and two books might have the same subject, but probably not by the same publisher. Maybe, I don't know. ISBN is clearly superior, that we know that's going to be unique. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that the a book title and a book publisher is a unique combination. Or we might go for something that replaces the order ID here. And so, what could we replace there? Uh, Probably the faculty ID and the course number, and then there's that section number stuff that we're going to just ignore. So we could say the faculty member for a given course is is ordering a book. So the order ID could be replaced by the faculty and course number. So those are some candidate keys here. What are what functional dependencies do we see? Well, we know that the primary key, that trio up there that we're going to use, is determinant of everything else in the row, but we're looking for sort of certain small, like, other things other than all three. So partials or transitives or other things that are along the way. So let's have a look here. Of course, what's the book ISBN is going to determine for us the book title, and what I called it, book title, book publisher. And we're assuming that there's one publisher, at least for a given edition, there will be one publisher, most likely. Okay. So ISBN is telling us book title, and book publisher won't tell us book author because that's multi-valued. So, or at least originally it was multi-valued. So just knowing the book doesn't tell us whether it's Rob or Garnett. It tells us both of them, but it doesn't tell us uniquely. And part of functional dependence is sort of to pick out things uniquely. Then it could only be like one thing. So the ISBN picks out a unique title, picks out a unique publisher. Okay. What else do we have? The course num give us the course name. So course num will tell us the course name. Okay. That seems pretty clear. It won't tell us the section. We see here CSC 240 is database, but they're different sections. So it's not telling us section. The faculty ID will tell us the first name, last name, department, and phone. So we have some faculty ID that's telling us the faculty first name, the faculty last name, the department, the phone, and the order ID is going to tell us the faculty and the course num. So that's why we could replace order ID here with faculty ID course num. So let's put that down, order ID. And then it tells us everything that it tells that, but this is going to give us some transitives. And what are we missing? Probably the order ID tells us the section, I would say. Okay. So have we found everything? I hope so. I guess if you knew the phone number, you could, invert that. If you knew the phone number, you could get us the faculty of, you know, you could do the faculty determines the phone number or the phone number determines the faculty. Um, so it might be possible for this to be broken down even farther, but I think that starts to go sort of when this process goes from like academic and impractical. So I'm probably just going to like stop at this level. So what up above are partials? So we're saying we're going with order ID. Now there's a generalized second normal form and then the regular normal. So sort of the normal form is used, the second normal form is defined by sort of partial dependencies on the primary key. So if order, book ISBN, or book author, or any two of the three are telling us things, that would be a partial. A generalized second normal form, we would do the same, but also include our candidate keys. So let's just go with the original primary key and not do the candidate keys here. And say generalized. It's just asked for partials on the primary key, not and doesn't say and the candidate keys. So faculty book and order are up there, but course num and faculty ID are not. They would come in generalized. And that's sort of one of the ideas of generalized, that it brings things in sooner. Um, so that so the book was a partial and the order was a partial, but the course number and the faculty were not partials. They would be in if we were doing generalized, they'd be partials, but we're just doing a sort of basic primary key, and so those two are the partials. But this suggests that if we're going to second normal form, we should be pulling out a book table. We should have an order that is so we should have an order table. We should have a book table. Okay. What else? I lost my numbering here, but are there any transitive dependencies? Well, we said that the order ID tells us the faculty, and the faculty tells us the faculty name. So let's put that down as a transitive. So the order ID was telling us the faculty ID was telling us all the faculty, last name, first name, phone number, department. So that's a transitive. And then the order ID was telling us the uh, what was it? The course number, which was telling us the course name. So that's a transitive, one thing determining the other anything else up here we see as transitive. Um, we're going to go to order doing faculty doing stuff, order doing course number doing stuff. Um, for us, book ISBN was part of the primary key, and then it told us a lot of book stuff. So that's not very transitive. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to look to decompose. So let's see if I can grab this top line up here and paste it as text. So here are all of my, so here's my original table. So I'll just say, I don't know, original. And it had order ID. And then I'm going to start pulling stuff out of it based on the decomposition that the normal forms are suggesting. So this is my original full on everything in there. And then I'm going to start pulling out suggested by the normal forms. Sorry for all this typing. Okay. So this is our original table, and then we start to pull things out. So there was a suggestion here at the partial that book title, book publisher. So ought to be a book table, which is going to determine on the book ISBN serving as that ID. And that was pulling out book title and book publisher. Now I leave the ID, I lost it. Book title, book publisher. Now I got it. Author was different because of the multi-value. So that was here, our first partial. The order pulled out the faculty, course number, and section. So let's do that. So there is an order, and that was the order ID giving us, what did we say? I lost it already. The faculty, the course number, and the section. Faculty ID, the course number, and the section. And so we're taking that out of our original. We keep the ID, but taking out faculty. We're going to take out the faculty name and faculty L name in a minute, but we'll just leave it there for now. We pulled out faculty ID. We pulled out course number. Those other things are coming, but we just have to wait a second. Okay, so we pulled out book, we pulled out order. That's what the second normal form suggested to us. And then this is suggesting we pull out faculty and course. So this would be the faculty ID, and this would be the course number, and that gives us the course name. So we can get rid of the course name. The faculty ID was giving us the faculty name, first name, last name, department, and phone. So that's out of there. And we have order ID telling us section, so that's sort of been handled. Now we have sort of our sort of this original is sort of uh like the bridge table that are left. So we pulled out book and order and faculty and course as suggested by the second normal form, the third normal form. And then we think about our relationships. Um, so, well, first there's author. I probably want to pull out author uh, as a separate um, table. Um, this what I really want in the end is for this to be sort of two two bridge tables. One that the book is in the order, and the other one is that the author writes a book. So let's do our examine the multiplicity of our relationship. Um, an order may include many books. A book may be in many orders. So there is an order book many to many relationships. So we're expecting a book order relationship with order ID and book ISBN. That's this original one is uh, going to become, and then I think there's going to be a book author table, and maybe I want it um, a book ID, the book ISBN, and maybe some author ID. And then I didn't have an author ID, but I'm going to introduce it. And then I'm going to have an author table, which is going to be sort of some author ID and then author first name and last name, etc. Oops. And then that is going to, those last two tables were sort of finally eliminating my original. So let me, I don't know, cross it out now. That I had, so the second, the partial, it said pull out a book and pull out an order. And then third normal form said pull out faculty and pull out course. And then I sort of examined sort of what was in the original table, what were the relationships that were in that table that aren't in my new tables. And I had that a book was in an order and that it was many to many, so I needed a bridge table. And then there was a relationship between the book and the author, also a many to many relationship. And a book may have many authors, and an author may write many books. So that was many to many relationship. And so then to sort of give that its normal uh, treatment, I introduced an author ID and put it in my bridge table of book author. And then I introduced, so then I used the author first name and last name, etc., as just some new fields I might have in an author table. So there we have a faculty book order normalization. We went to third normal form. We uh, talked about a candidate key, but we didn't do the generalized normal form. But if we had, everything that we pulled out could have been pulled out at a generalized second normal form. And that's what I wanted to show. So thanks for your attention.